Hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the session today. Hope you all can hear me. Can you guys confirm once? Okay, great. Thank you guys for confirming. So let us start the session, guys. So if you guys remember, we have started learning about the Google Cloud Platform, and yesterday we have seen how and why we need the cloud platform and what is the difference between the on-premises working model as well as cloud computing model. Okay, so now we now already know that with this knowledge, I would say that Google Cloud Platform is what is Google Cloud Platform, sir? Google Cloud Platform is a leading cloud provider. So it is a one of the leading cloud provider. So what it will provide you guys? Tell me guys, what it will provide you? Cloud computing services it will provide you. So, with the help of these cloud computing services, people are going to, or the organizations are going to get benefit by building their application, deploying their application, scaling their application. So, multiple activities they are going to do with it. Okay. So, if you wanted to do those activities, okay, sir, I wanted to build an application. Okay. We now know that it is providing you the plenty of applications. So we wanted to build an application, or we wanted to store some data, or we wanted to process some data, or we wanted to analyze some data, or instead, so let me gonna tell you in such a way. So what we wanted to do in the data engineering, guys, can you tell me what we wanted to do in the data engineering? What is the agenda, guys? If you wanted to learn about the data engineering, what is our agenda? In the data life cycle, we wanted to store the data, right? First we wanted to worry about how to ingest the data from the multiple data sources. Then we wanted to store the data. We wanted to transform the data, right? We wanted to process the data. We wanted to analyze the data, and we wanted to visualize the data, and we wanted to take care of the data governance as well. Data governance. So in Google Cloud Platform or anywhere, as a data engineer, we wanted to do all of these activities. We wanted to perform all of these activities, guys. So if you wanted to perform these activities in the Google Cloud Platform, you have a plenty of services are available, right? You have a plenty of GCP services are available, so that you are going to do all of these activities, right? Because you are going to become a GCP data engineer, you are going to work on a GCP projects where you may have to ingest the data, you may have to store the data, transform the data. Sir, if I wanted to do all of those activities in the Google Cloud services, sir, can you tell me what are the interface methods available? So can you tell me what are the interface methods available to do all of these activities? If you ask me, the interface methods are three, guys. There are three interface methods are there in the Google Cloud Platform to interact with the multiple services in the GCP, right? So can you tell me what are those methods? If you ask me, one of the method is, can you guys tell me? Cloud Console. The second method is Cloud Shell. The third method is Cloud SDK. So these are the three different methods are there to interact with the different services in the GCP for our data engineering activities. Right. So let us now try to understand what is Cloud Console, what is Cloud Shell, what is Cloud SDK. Okay, so you can see here. So we have a plenty of services in the GCP. If one wanted to interact with the services in the GCP, you have Cloud Console, Cloud Shell, Cloud SDK. And there is also one more way. You can also interact it via APIs or third-party tools as well. So if one wanted to interact with the multiple services in the GCP, you can use console, Cloud Shell, SDK, or third-party tools or API. Now let us try to understand what is console. Okay, so first let us try to understand what is console. The very first method is, what is Cloud Console? Cloud Console. So if you ask me what is a Cloud Console, I would say that Cloud Console is one of the browser-based or web-based graphical user interface. It is one of the graphical user interface to interact with the multiple services in the GCP. So what is this one, sir? It is available over the web. It is available over the internet. So that is the reason it is called as a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the services in Google Cloud Platform. How we are going to interact with the services? You have a multiple services in the GCP. You are going to interact with the services via visually. So you are going to interact with the services visually. You are going to interact it here. So that is the reason it is called as a visual interface or a graphical user interface to interact with the services in the GCP. Okay, so this is what, sir, what we can do here with the help of the graphical user interface or with help of the console. If you ask me, you can do anything, guys. You can do most of the things. If you wanted to create a bucket for storing the data, if you wanted to create a bucket for data processing, if you wanted to create a cluster, if you wanted to submit a job, or if you wanted to apply a policy for individual, or if you wanted to create some kind of a virtual machine. So if you wanted to do all of these things, or if you wanted to create a tables in the BigQuery, anything. So most of the things in the Google Cloud Platform you can able to do with the Google Cloud Console, guys. Google Cloud Console is one of the web-based graphical user interface to interact with the multiple services in the GCP visually. Okay, the interface is visual interface. Anything can be done. Sir, can you show me how do we do that? So first, I'm going to open the browser, guys. So I'm going to go to our home page for the Google Cloud Platform is console.cloud.google.com. Okay, so maybe in our next session, in our fifth session, I will tell you guys how to create a free tier account in the GCP, or maybe tomorrow I will try to tell you how to create a free tier account in the GCP. You can also create it during the weekend. Okay, now first let us try to understand. You will get familiar with the Google Cloud Platform in these 2 days. Okay, yeah. Now look at here. So this is how our home page or the Google Cloud Platform console page looks like. So when you open the console.cloud.google.com, so this is how the page looks like, guys. So you can see here everything. So you can see my account name is this one only, guys. GCP demo practice 1. So you can able to see I have created plenty of accounts, guys. You can see here with the same credit card I've been created almost 10 plus. I told you, right, from the last 15 months I'm telling you. You can see here it is almost 5 plus 5 5 plus 6 7 plus almost 12 things, 12 into 3. Can you guys tell me how much? 36. Okay, that's too much. Okay, you can see here, guys. So this is how the console page looks like. You can go here. This is our left navigation menu. I will tell you tomorrow also. So you can see here, this is our project area. This is our search box. I will tell you all of this tomorrow also. Sir, I wanted to create a bucket in the cloud storage. I will go to the cloud storage. I wanted to create a bucket. What I am doing, guys, when I wanted to create bucket, I am clicking on create. Okay, so and you are entering something. How you are doing all of these activities? With the help of the visual interface, with the help of your naked eye, you are looking at that thing, you are clicking on that thing and doing some activity. So this is what we call as a console. It is a user interface. So if you wanted to create a bucket today, okay, tomorrow if you wanted to create a table in the BigQuery, okay, so if you wanted to create a table in the BigQuery, or if you wanted to create a IAM policy, see here, the IAM will open. So how you are interacting with the services? So IAM is a one of the service. You are interacting with that service. See here, how do you know that this is here only? It's because this is a graphical user interface. You are going to use that graphical user interface. You are going to click on it. You are going to add a principal here. So this is what we call as a console, guys. Console is nothing but a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the services visually. We can do literally anything with help of the console, guys. Most of the activities in the Google Cloud Platform is done using the console. Most of the automated things can be done using the command line command line tool that we will see in the next one. So hope you guys got some idea on the console, I guess. Okay, so this is what is our console, guys. So that is our console, which is a graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services. So we have next thing, that is Cloud Shell. Let us try to understand what is a Cloud Shell. So Cloud Shell, guys. The next one is the Cloud Shell. What is a Cloud Shell, sir? Cloud Shell is also a web-based. It is a web-based. The name itself, it is saying shell means it is a command line interface. What is this one, sir? It is a command line interface. Okay, what is Cloud Shell, sir? Cloud Shell is a web-based web-based command line interface. Here you are going to interact with the services via what, sir? Can anyone tell me? How do you going to interact with the services in the command line interface? With the help of the commands, you are going to interact with the multiple services in the GCP. In Google Cloud Platform, you have a plenty of services that we now know. If you wanted to interact with those services, the second method is that command line interface. So here the second method is command line interface. If you wanted to interact with the GCPs via commands also, you can do that. Sir, can you tell me what you can do with the Cloud Shell, sir? You can literally do anything with the Cloud Shell also. Most of the activities, if you wanted to create a bucket, cluster, submitting a job, applying a policy, creating. So all of these activities can also be done using the command line interface as well. So let me gonna show you what is a Cloud Shell and where it is available and how it is available and how to interact with the Cloud Shell. Let us try to understand. First, let me go to the Google Cloud Platform again. So if you go to the home page, you are having here the left navigation menu where you will be able to see all the products and services. Here, this is our project area. Why I'm telling once or twice is that this is the first time you guys are looking at the Google Cloud Platform, so that it becomes easy for you to whenever you see it. So you get habituated to use the Google Cloud Platform. So that's what I'm doing, sir. So this is a search box. Don't think that sir is telling once or twice. So these are beginning classes. You have to make yourself comfortable with the UI user interface. Okay, and here you have a left navigation menu, project area, search box. Here this is a reward button. That is nothing but your free trial status button, where you will be able to see the number of days and the amount left for your free trial status. And here you should also be able to see one more button here. That is what we call. Can you guys read it out? What is that button, sir? It is our Cloud Shell button, guys. So if you click on this Cloud Shell, the Cloud Shell gets activated at the bottom. You look at here. Cloud Shell gets activated in the bottom. Okay. So Cloud Shell is nothing but what, sir? It is a command line interface to interact with the GCP services. As I already told you, it is also browser based. So that is the reason on the web page, if you click on this activate button, then only the Cloud Shell gets opened here. Then only the Cloud Shell button gets opened here. You can able to see how to interact with the multiple services from here. So let me gonna show you guys in a 1 minute. So it is taking some time. Okay. Meanwhile, I will tell you one more point as well. You are able to see here the terminal because Cloud Shell has two faces. Okay. Cloud Shell has two faces, guys. If you ask me the examples that you can do with this one. So let me remove it. That's not a thing. So Cloud Shell has two faces, guys. The first phase is terminal, and the second phase is that it is editor. So this is called as terminal. This is called as editor. Okay, so terminal is something that it is like a shell environment. It is like a command line environment. Okay, it is like for commands only. If you wanted to run, it is like your command line environment. What is an editor? Editor is something like your code editor. You might have seen the code editors like Visual Studio Code or the Notepad plus plus. So how you are going to edit your code with the help of that PyCharm? Multiple code editors are there, right? Similar to that, Google Cloud Platform is providing you the Cloud Shell editor for you, where it is act as a source code editor, or you can think of a code editor. Okay, here it also comes up with a version control system as well. Okay, it comes up with a version control system. So it is also here you can also store the multiple versions of the files as well. It supports the version control system. It also supports the Git and many other things as well. Okay, so what is a Cloud Shell, sir? A Cloud Shell is a web-based command line interface. If you wanted to interact with the services via commands, you can go for this one. It has two phases, guys. One is terminal, one more is editor. So the first one is terminal. Hope you are able to see here. So this is how the terminal works. Okay, so if you look at here, you now know, I think maybe in our upcoming sessions, I will talk about the Linux, guys. So the Linux basics in our next session, I think maybe from Monday, I guess, I am going to talk about the Linux as well. So you will get to know about the Linux commands that I will tell you later. But if you wanted to interact with the GCP, for example, let me change. If you wanted to change the project, okay, you can also open this entire thing in the next page. I'm opening this in the next page. Okay, so I can close it here. I'm opening this in the next page so that it opens in a very bigger page so that you guys can see it. So if you wanted to change a project, you can also do this thing, gcloud config set project, and you can provide your project ID. So don't worry about that. All the things about the project ID, project name, all of those things I'm going to tell you tomorrow. This is only to make yourself understand how many interfaces are there in the Google Cloud Platform. Okay. So, for example, in Google Cloud Platform, if I wanted to list out the buckets, I will go to the cloud storage. So this is visual interface I'm telling you. So this is Cloud Console. In the Cloud Console, if I wanted to list out all the buckets, what I will do? I come to the cloud storage and I will see able to see the list of the buckets. Similarly, in the Cloud Shell, I wanted to list out all the buckets. If you wanted to do, you have to issue a command called gsutil ls. gsutil is a command line interface to interact with the Google Cloud Storage from the Cloud Shell. Ls is to list out all the buckets. You will be able to see the magic now. See here. So these many buckets are there. So total 5 buckets. Here also you have total 5 buckets. Sir, inside this bucket, so visual interface, I am clicking on that bucket. I am going to list out all the files. Sir, I wanted to list out all the files inside the first bucket. The bucket name is this one. I wanted to list out all the buckets inside this particular file. So gsutil ls, the bucket name I am going to issue, the bucket name is this one. I wanted to list out all the files inside the bucket. When you click on enter, you should be able to see list out all the files. Here also you should be able to see all of those files. So this is how you using the graphical user interface you can do that. Similarly, using the command line interface also you can do that. So the idea is to understand is to, with the help of the graphical user interface, we can achieve whatever we wanted to do. With the help of the command line interface also, we can do the same thing. So according to the requirement of the project, we have to work on different interface methods. Okay, yeah. Now, so that is what, sorry. So this is your Cloud Shell terminal. You can able to see here, right? Cloud Shell terminal. So you see here, guys, there is a button called Open Editor. When you click on this one, the editor will open here. You can click on Open Home Directory. So here the editor will open. See here in the editor, if you wanted to create any file, sir, I wanted to create some Python file, main.py. Sir, I wanted to write some code. Print welcome to GCP data engineering course. Okay, so this is how you are printing. And one more advantage with the Cloud Shell I will do is that, let me gonna tell you guys. Okay, see here. I have created a code. So if I list out, I should be able to see main.py here. Don't worry about it. I'm going to tell you all of these things once again, guys, whenever there is a requirement. To tell you guys, one more thing about the Cloud Shell is that, so you can see here, Python. So you can see you are inside the Python. Okay, what is the advantage with the Cloud Shell is that most of the softwares, sorry. Okay, most of the commonly used softwares are runtimes such as Python, Java, Terraform, Docker. Most of the things are already installed on top of the Cloud Shell, so that you can directly use it. You can also see Python already installed it. You don't need to specifically install them. The Cloud Shell comes up with a pre-installed software packages or the client libraries. You can see here the Java is also available. Java is also available. Look at the Terraform, Docker. So Cloud Shell comes up with the most of the client libraries. So you don't need to specifically install them. So that is the one more advantage with the Cloud Shell, guys. So it comes up with the pre-installed softwares. If you wanted to create some code, if you wanted to run some code, you can do that with help of the Cloud Shell, guys. So that is a one more point with the Cloud Shell. Fourth point comes up with the pre-installed client libraries. Okay, comes up with the pre-installed client libraries such as, if you ask me, the Python, Java, Go, Terraform, Node.js, SQL, plenty of things you can able to directly do that here. So with the help of the editor, you can use that as a code editor. Just now we have created a code, guys, if you remember, right? With the help of the code editor, we have just created the edit code, and you can also see here it comes up with a version control system, that is source control. Okay, if you connect it to the Git, it supports the Git also, and so that you can able to see the changes how you are working on. So that is the one more advantage with the Cloud Shell editor. Cloud Shell is free for everyone. Okay, so how you have a console which is free for everyone. Similarly, Cloud Shell is a small virtual machine. It is free for everyone. You can start using it. If you wanted to start using it, you have to click on this activate Cloud Shell button, so that the Cloud Shell gets activated, so that you can start using it with the multiple activities. If you wanted to interact it with some service via commands, or you wanted to create some code and interact with the services via some program, you can able to do that, guys. It supports code editing, it supports version control, it supports Terraform, Python, plenty of other languages as well. So this is what is Cloud Shell, guys. Okay, so this is what is Cloud Shell. Hope you got some idea about the Cloud Shell and Cloud Console. If anyone have any questions, please raise your hand, guys. I will go one by one. If no one is having questions, we will talk about the Cloud SDK next. Okay, I see that everyone is clear about the topic. So now we have seen the Cloud Console, we have seen the Cloud Shell. Can you guys look at it? The difference, the Cloud Console is available over the web. Cloud Shell is also available over the web. Sir, I have some programs. Sir, I have some code that is there in my local system. I wanted to interact with the GCP services from the local machine. Can I do that? I have some data in my local machine. I wanted to move it to the Google Cloud storage that is there in the Google Cloud platform. Can I do that? Sir, I have some program that is Python file. I wanted to interact with the GCP services. Can I do that? Of course, you can also do that. So that is can be done with the help of the one more tool that is called as Cloud SDK. So that is called as Cloud SDK. Cloud SDK is a software development kit provided by the Google Cloud Platform. It is what, sir? It is a software development kit. Software development kit. Okay, so according to your operating system, you can download this software development kit to your local machine. You can download this to your local machine. Okay, so can you tell me what is a software? Sorry, what is a SDK, sir? Now it is a local based. So this is how, if you wanted to install it, this is how you have to do it, guys. I will tell you how to install it also just in a few minutes. But if you wanted to install the Cloud SDK according to your operating system in the local machine, you have to download it and install it. Okay, as per the definition, what is a Cloud SDK? If you ask me, sir, Cloud SDK is a one of the local based command line interface. What is this one, sir? It is a local based command line interface to interact with the services via commands. Okay, so this is what is a SDK, sir. What is SDK? It is very similar to your Cloud Shell. The only difference between the Cloud Shell as well as Cloud SDK is that Cloud Shell is a web-based, Cloud SDK is a local-based. Okay, here it is a command line interface to interact with the services via commands. What we can do, sir? Almost all of these things can also be done using the Cloud SDK also. Okay, Cloud SDK also. Let me go to my notes. Hope if you guys wanted to see how to install the SDK on top of your local machine, you can come to this page later. Whenever you get the access to my notes, you can do this activity, guys. So if you wanted to download it, you just have to click on it. If you click on it, so if you just click on it, 1 minute. So let me open this one. Okay. So if I click on it, okay, wait, it's going to here. Anyway, that's fine. So or else you can download, you can copy this link. You can paste here the link. Okay, you can paste here the link. Just click on it. It will start downloading the Google Cloud SDK installer. Once you have downloaded it, when you click on it, this page will open. Just click on next, click on agree, click on next, click on next, click on install. Automatically, the Cloud SDK gets installed on top of your local machine. This is for the Windows operating system, guys. This is for the Windows operating system. Most of the people is having the Windows operating system only. So that is the reason I have pasted here. If you guys have any other operating system, you can also go to the Google public documentation. You can go to the public documentation here. Maybe you can go here. Okay, I think Cloud SDK for some other operating system, right? For Windows. So for Mac, for example. So you can go here. You should be able to install it, guys. So if you wanted to install the SDK, you have a plenty of operating systems: Linux, Ubuntu, Red Hat, Fedora, as well as Mac OS Chromebook. So this is what we have done it for the installer. So when you click on this one, automatically it downloads. I just copied this one only and pasted in our notebook. So if you wanted to download it, so I'm going to paste this link for you guys so that according to your operating system, you can download it. Okay, according to the operating system, you can download it to this particular page and you can install it. Okay, so now it is a local based command line interface. Now you know how to install it on top of your local machine as well. Once it is installed in your local machine, you can search with the Cloud SDK. You can search with SDK. You are able to see Google Cloud SDK shell, right? Just click on that. Just click on it. So this is how the SDK opens. This is how the SDK opens. The very first thing, once the SDK is installed, what we have to do is that we have to log into your Google Cloud Platform from the SDK. Okay, from the SDK, we need to log into it. Copy it. I'm going to click on this enter button. Cloud SDK login. So when you click on it, it goes to the browser only. Just click on, you select your account, click on OK, click on allow, so that it gets logged in. You see here, guys, it gets logged in. Earlier, what we have done, guys, so if you wanted to list out all the buckets, we have used the commands, right? Similarly, you can also use the same commands here. So gsutil ls, gsutil ls. So you should also be able to see the same things whichever you have seen in the Cloud Shell. Okay, sir, if you wanted to see what are the files inside this bucket, you can also see it here. Okay, so the interface to interact with the Google Cloud Shell as well as SDK is both same. But the thing is that Cloud SDK operates from your local machine. Cloud Shell is operated from your Google Cloud platform that is web based. So this is how you have to do it, guys. So this is how. So tomorrow we will see, sir, I have some files in my local machine. I wanted to move it to the Google Cloud storage. How do we do that, sir? I'm going to use SDK because SDK is operated from your local machine only. You can move the files. Tomorrow I have some code that is there in my local machine. I wanted to run it. Again, the SDK is acting as a bridge between your local machine as well as your Google Cloud Platform services, right? So you can use the SDK again. So SDK is very much used nowadays, guys. So whenever you wanted to work from the local machine. Okay, so this is what is SDK. Okay, so you can see here, guys. So we have seen what is console. We have seen what is Cloud Shell. We have also seen what is SDK. Okay, so the console is there, Cloud Shell is there, Cloud SDK is there. So if you guys go, just recap it and we will go to the next one. So Cloud Console is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the services visually. Cloud Shell is web-based web-based command line interface. It comes up with the pre-installed client libraries, Python, Java, Go, plenty of other languages. It has two phases. One is terminal and one more is editor. Cloud SDK is a software development kit. According to your operating system, you have to download it on top of your local machine and install it. Once it is installed, you have to follow few steps to log into your Google Cloud platform. Once you have logged in, you can able to interact with the GCP services from your local machine using the Cloud SDK as well. Okay, so this is what is Google Cloud Platform, and these are the interface methods. As a developer, as a data engineer, if you wanted to interact with it, you are going to use all of these methods. There is also one more method. There is also one more method, that is the fourth method. APIs are third-party tools. Sometimes, sir, I am writing some Python program. I wanted to interact with the GCP services. You can actually you can actually call an API. You can do an interaction with the GCP services. In our upcoming sessions, we are going to see that. Okay, we are going to see that. For example, let me gonna open one of the codes so that you get some idea. Let me open. Do I have anything? Yeah, cloud functions. Let me, for example. Yeah, here I have it. So this is assume that this is one of the cloud function code, guys. So see here. So I wanted to interact with the BigQuery using the Python. I wanted to interact with the BigQuery using the Python. What I am trying to do? Using the Python client library, I am going to call an API, that is BigQuery API. I am trying to connect with it. And so if you wanted to interact with the BigQuery, you need to specify your data set as well as table. So this is what we call as an API. Not only this one. So in other some cases, for example, CoreJava API project is also there. Okay, so 1 minute. Okay, so Composer, DAX, Airflow DAX. For example, look at here. So we wanted to interact with some API and we wanted to get some data. So we are calling an API to download some data from some platform. So whenever you wanted to interact with some service in the GCP, you can also call an API and you can also do some kind of an interaction. So that we will see in our upcoming session. Similarly, there are some third-party tools. something like Power BI. Power BI is a third party to the BigQuery, Google Cloud Platform, right? So Power BI is a external to the Google Cloud Platform. So if you wanted to get some data and visualize the data in the Power BI is a third party tool. Using the Power BI and the service account, you can also interact with the GCP services for getting the data and visualize the data in the Power BI. So such a kind of activities. And similarly, Informatica or SSIS or many other tools are there. So third party tools are there where you can able to interact with the GCP services via some authorization or authorized keys or service account keys. So that also we will see in our upcoming sessions, guys. So these are the total four methods are there where you are going to interact with the services using different methods. Okay, one is console, one is cloud shell, one more is SDK, one more is third party tools. Okay, so we have a note here, guys. These are the common ways to interact with the GCP services. The choice of method depends on your preferences, requirements, and the type of interaction that you wanted to have it with the GCP resources. Okay, someone wanted to work with a user interface, someone wanted to work with a command line interface. It totally depends on your preference and the requirement and the type of interaction that you wanted to have it with your GCP resources. Okay, so either you can work via user interface or command lines or APIs or third party tools. Anything is fine. If your project is asked you to use that only, you have to use it. If your project is having a flexibility to use anything, it's your choice and it's your type of interaction that you wanted to have it with the services. So this is one of the point you can say. Okay, so this is how we can able to see GCP interfaces, guys. Anyone have any questions on GCP interfaces? If you guys have any questions, you can ask me, guys. Please raise your hand, guys, if anyone have wanted to ask any question. Okay, yeah, please raise your hand. I see no one is raising their hands. That seems that everyone is clear about that. Raghavendra, if you wanted to ask any question, I'm telling you, please raise your hand so that I will know, and it's other people also get to know who is asking. Okay, so yeah, you can ask me now. Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. Anyway, you can ask me. Yeah, correct, correct. Correct. Yeah. So you have some external tools. You wanted to connect it with the GCP services because, as I told you yesterday, also most of the cloud services works via APIs. Okay, most of the cloud services works via API. So that's the reason the automation becomes easy. So you have, for example, you have some service here, and each service has its own API. So from the third party tool, some external, you are going to connect it to this particular GCP services via this API. Okay, if you wanted to use it also, you need to have some authorization keys and everything. But this is one of the method I'm telling you. Okay. Yes. Any other questions, anyone? Okay, perfect. I see no questions. That means everyone is clear. Now, very basic things about the GCP I am going to talk about now, guys, which is very much important. Tomorrow, if you wanted to ask me any question also, you can easily ask with help of these basic things. Okay, now I am going to talk about the GCP things. So this is purely a GCP things, guys, you can think of. So let us talk about the GCP things. Okay, so now, so you might have already seen earlier I was changing some project. Sorry, I was changing some project, and you are able to see here some project, and here also you are able to see something here, project and project. So let us try to understand what is a project first thing. Okay, in Google Cloud Platform, if you wanted to interact with any of the service in the GCP, you must select a project. You must select a project. or you should create a new project. Okay, in Google Cloud Platform, if you wanted to do anything, if you wanted to perform any action, okay, you now know how to interact with the services. But if you wanted to interact with any of the service in the GCP, you must select a project. Okay, any interaction in the GCP goes via project only. Okay, so because if you are selecting a project, the billing will be enabled. If you wanted to enable the billing, you must select the project. If you wanted to enable the API, you must select the project. Okay, so this is how it is. What is billing, sir? Because as I told you already, whatever the resources that you are going to use in the GCP is providing you the services not for free but for the cost. So you have to pay some cost. So if they wanted to track the usage of your cost, so you have to select the project. So when you enable the billing, the cost will be associated for the billing only. Okay, if you don't select the project, you can't do anything. If you don't enable the billing also, you can't do anything. If you don't enable the API also, you can't do anything. Okay. In Google Cloud Platform, the very first thing is that you need to first create a project. You need to first create a project. The next thing is that, okay, first you need to create the project. The next thing is that you need to enable the billing. The next thing is that you need to enable the API. So now let us try to see one by one what is a project, how to create a project. So while creating the project, what are the parameters that we have to provide? Let us try to learn one by one. So create project. Okay, so the very first thing is that creating a project. So let us try to see first. So if anyone wanted to create a project in Google Cloud Platform, as I told you, this is our project area, this is our left navigation menu, and this is our search box. Okay, in the project area, when I say project area, you have to go here, click on it, and you should be able to see already some of the projects. So if you wanted to create a new project, you can see here, guys. Okay, you should be able to see here, click on this new project. Okay, if you guys wanted to create any project, you have to provide the project name. You can click on edit. You should provide the project ID, and there is a project number also. Okay, we need to provide the project name, project ID, and project number. Let me gonna talk about that first, and then we will come back here. Okay, so let me gonna say delete this thing, delete this thing. I think this is, we can keep it. Okay, now, so project, let me gonna create a small diagram, guys. You can understand it easily. So we have to provide three parameters. The very first parameter is project name, project ID, and one more parameter that you can't see it, but once the project is created, it will come. So that is project number. So let me gonna talk about those three things in clearly. So one is what, sir? Project name. Okay, one is project name. One more is project ID. One more is project number. So these are the three things are there, guys. Three things are there. So what is project name? What is project ID? Okay. So every project has its own project ID. As I told you, project is nothing but a container for your resources, guys. It's like a container. If you have worked on in Azure platform, you have a resource container. Okay, similar to that, we have a project here. Project is that all the resources will be tracked from the project only. If you wanted to work with any of the service in the GCP, you need to have a project created. So if you wanted to create a project, you need to provide the project name, project ID, project number. The project name is a user choice. Whose choice it is, sir? The project name is a user choice and can be changed later also. Okay, can be changed later also. That is the reason I am mentioning it as a mutable. So project name is a user choice. We can also change it later. Project ID is also a user choice, but we cannot change it later. Okay, we cannot change it later. And the project number is a Google choice. We can't assign it and we can't change it. Okay, so this is what is the nature of each and everything, guys. The project name is a user choice. So user can provide. User means you and me. We can provide it. And later point of time, if you wanted to change your project name also, you can do that. Project ID is again a user choice, but cannot be changed later. Project number itself, it is a, sorry. Project number is a Google choice, guys. Okay. Google choice, Google automatically assigns the project number. Okay, we cannot change it also. So these are the three parameters you have to see. So let me gonna show you. So project name. So you can give some project name. So I'm gonna give evening. I'm giving evening batch. For this project, I'm going to use it for the evening batch, guys. Evening batch 9 p.m. So this is my project name. The project ID, you can give anything as your project ID. You can also give this as your project ID. And if you wanted to mention some number also, you can do that. This is your project ID. And here you are able to see some location. When you are working in a company, the company's organization names will be the location for you. Okay, because every project comes under the organization. When your company is there, all the projects will be comes under your organization account. So for now we are working and we are creating this as an individual account. We do not have any organization, so that's the reason no organization. But when you are working in a company, you should be able to see your company name here as an organization. Okay, you provide the project name, you provide the project ID, you click on create, so that the project gets created in 1 or 2 seconds. Okay, it hardly takes 2 or 3 seconds only, guys. So the project is created. If you go to your project area, you should also be able to see one more project. This is your project name. This is your project ID. Whenever you want the project name and project ID, you can come back to this session. You can copy it from here. You can copy it from here. Control C. Okay, so this is, if you wanted to select some projects, or I wanted to work in this project for the multiple resources, you can select this project. Okay, so this is how, as I told you, this is your project name, this is your project ID, this is your project number. The project number is auto assigned, I told you, right? It is one of the unique number, guys. I'm telling you, it is auto assigned by the Google itself. Okay, so that is how it is. Now you know how to create a project and what are the parameters while creating the project also. Yes or no, guys? Okay, perfect. Sir, I now know how to create a project. Sir, I wanted to work with a GCP. Okay, 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Give me 1 minute, a small second. Just wanted to do one check in the resources. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, sorry guys. So let me gonna select the project, sorry, evening batch. So we have created one of the projects, that's perfect. Once we have created the project, so you are trying to, earlier, I wanted to create a bucket. Okay, so you can go to the cloud storage. So you can search from here also. That's the reason I told you guys. So it's a search box if you wanted to search for any service, cloud storage. And you see here, guys, you wanted to interact with the GCP, Google Cloud Storage, for creating some bucket and storing some data. But what it is throwing an error, guys. Can you guys check it? What is the problem here? What is the problem here? We need to enable the billing. Okay, so that is what I told you guys. Even though you have created one project, if you wanted to work with the multiple services in the GCP, okay, what we wanted to do, guys? Can you guys tell me what is our agenda? Can you guys tell me what we wanted to do in the Google Cloud Platform as a data engineer? right? We wanted to ingest the data, store the data, process the data, right? Transform the data, analyze the data, visualize the data, and data governance, data monitoring. So all of these activities we wanted to do, monitoring. This we wanted to do in the Google Cloud Platform. If you wanted to do all of these things in the Google Cloud Platform, if you wanted to do all of these things in the Google Cloud Platform, you must go to the Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so this entire outbox is nothing but your Google Cloud Platform, sir. This box is your Google Cloud Platform. In Google Cloud Platform, I would mention here also GCP. This is GCP, sir, Google Cloud Platform. If you wanted to interact with any of the service in the GCP to do these activities, okay, to do these activities, if you wanted to interact with any of the service, you must create the project first. What you have to do, sir, we must create the project first, guys. If you have to work with the GCP, the very first thing you must create the project. The next activity is that you need to enable the billing. You need to enable or manage the billing, I would say. Enable or manage the billing. Manage billing. Okay, you need to enable or manage the billing. So this is your second thing. Okay, and you go here. If you wanted to see here, I wanted to create a bucket. The bucket itself, it is this button is, you are unable to create the billing when the billing is disabled. That means you have to enable the billing. So you go to the home page again. You need to go to the billing section, right? So enable the billing. You select with this one. So you say, click on this billing accounts, or you can click on this manage billing accounts. Either this way you can come, or you can click on this left navigation menu. You have a billing section here. You click on this manage billing accounts. Anything is fine. Once you are here, so you have a billing accounts. See here, my projects. Click on this my projects. You see here, guys, for the project, the billing is disabled. What is this one, sir? This particular project, the billing is disabled. If you wanted to enable the billing, you have a three dots here. Click on these three dots, click on change billing, click on here, my billing account, set account. Okay, again, sir, I'm you not using this project. I wanted to disable the billing. You come here, disable billing. Again, three dots, click on change billing, click on select the billing account, set account. So this is how, if you wanted to disable the billing or enable the billing, you can do it from here. Okay, so that is the reason I told here, manage the billing. So if you wanted to enable it or disable it. Okay, so that is one more important step. The one more final thing is that not for all the services, for the few services only. Because if you wanted to, for example, now I wanted to create a cloud storage. Cloud storage. So now the billing is not there. So if you wanted to create a bucket, you can click on create your bucket. That's totally fine. So did it ask anything? No, it did not ask. Once you have enabled the billing, it did not ask anything. But if you go to some other services like a Composer tomorrow, if you wanted to work with a workflow orchestration tool called Composer, so if you wanted to work with a Composer, even though you enable the billing also, that is not enough. For some services in the GCP, you need to enable the API. You need to enable what, sir? So not for all the services, but for few services only. So that is what we call as a enable API for few services only. And not for all the services, for few services only, guys. So that is something that you need to remember, for few services. Okay, so this is how, if you wanted to enable the billing or disable the billing, and if you wanted to create a project or enable the API, so that's where if you can able to work with that. So if you wanted to work with different services in the GCP, you need to create the project, manage the billing, enable the API, then using multiple interface methods. Can you guys tell me what are the interface methods are there to interact with the GCP services? Okay, you have three methods, right? So now you have three methods. Using that, you can interact with the GCP services. I would say one is console, one more is cloud shell, one more is cloud SDK. So using those services, okay, so even though you are doing, all of these things, but if you are not creating the project, not enabling the billing, not enabling the API, you cannot be able to do anything. So you first create the project, manage the billing, enable the API, and after that, using these different interface methods, you can able to go for doing this all of these activities in the GCP. Okay, so this is what is the very basic thing that most of the people does not know what is a project. So the project is a container to your resources. Tomorrow you are using some service. Okay, if you wanted to use the service, that service comes under the tracking of this project only. The billing will be tracked with the help of the project only. Most of the things will be tracked using the project only, guys. Okay, so this is how it works in the GCP, guys. This is purely a GCP things. Okay, so if you wanted to enable the API, just click on enable. That's it. It takes like 1 minute so that the API gets enabled. One time activity. In the project, per one project, it is one time activity only. Okay, yep. Okay, such kind of APIs, if you wanted to enable all the APIs, you can go to the APIs and services. You can click on that and you can able to enable the APIs according to your requirement. You can just click on enable APIs and services. You can select some service and you can enable API. For example, data pro. So you can see here cloud data procs, you can enable the API from here. Okay, so this is how you can able to enable the APIs, disable the APIs with the help of this project. And again, enabling the API is again tagged to the project. If you don't select the project, it does not work. Okay, so that is how. Hope this is also clear, guys. Anyone have any question? So what we have seen today, we have seen the interface methods, we have seen the console walkthrough. In the console walkthrough, we have seen the project things, building things, as well as API things. These things are enough. Okay, so these things are enough, guys. Tomorrow I am going to talk about the GCP locations. Tomorrow I will tell you how to create a free tier account also. Okay, maybe tomorrow I will tell you few more basics and we will talk about how to create a free tier account in the GCP. Yep. Yes, I see few of the people are raising their hand. Yes, Karthik. Yes, please. Mm, Visualizing means it's not that you are directly creating a dashboards or something. So some type of a things will also comes under the data engineering only, but nowadays people are categorizing it as a BI engineer. But at but early stages, the data engineering is something that analyzing and visualizing everything comes under the part of a data engineering only. Okay, if you go and work in a some start a company, they will ask you to do all of these activities. Nowadays, you are working on a MNC companies, they have streamlined the process and they mention that the data engineer will do only these things. But actually, in a data engineering, everything will come into the picture. Correct. BigQuery is a analyze only. In BigQuery, we are going to analyze the data. Yes. Yes, Ishwar. You have any question? Correct. So yes, Cloud Shell, you can't enable anything because the Cloud Shell does not have a permission. So even though when you are, so what actually happens is that when you are actually using the Cloud Shell, when you are trying to work with that composer, right? So it will directly throw an error saying that the composer API is not enabled. Do you want it to enable it? It will ask you yes or no. Then you mention yes, right? So automatically it gets enabled. Okay. Yeah, that's how it works in the Cloud Shell. Yes. Anyone have any other question, guys? Okay, it's already 10. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can wind up the session. And one more thing, you guys have to remember, please complete your registrations, guys. From tomorrow, I guess the admin just informed me you have to complete the registrations for your classes. Okay, so that those who are completing the registration will be allowed in the next class. Okay, yeah. Thank you all. Have a great day. Please complete your registrations and we will talk about the few more basic things tomorrow. This week is entire thing about the basics, guys. Next week onwards, we are going to jump onto the actual things. Because if you don't know about where is where, if you don't know anything, then even though if you start working on it, you are going to get confused a lot because GCP is very new, right? Yeah. Okay, guys. Okay, just now again the admin again replied. So please complete your enrollments, guys. Complete the registrations so that you guys can do it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all. Have a great day. Yes, yes, Shardul. So, what is the need of data proc when we wanted to transform and store the data? So, the data proc is a PySpark jobs. You can run it, and you are going to read the data from some GCS or some other sources. You are going to process the data, transform the data, and store it in the BigQuery. Yes, that purpose you can use the data proc. Yes. So that example we are going to cover in in our courses as well. Okay. Yes, Madhu. You have any question?
Yes, sir. Actually, I missed yesterday's demo session. I wanted
Okay.
to know, do we have actually currently I'm a fresher. I mean, I just have 6 months of experience.
Okay.
So, can you tell me about the opportunities that we
So
have
the thing
currently?
is that, as I told you, you have a plenty of opportunities for the GCP. If you just wanted to make yourself wanted to work in this area, you have to learn about it, right? So data engineering is something is there from very beginning, and it is a evergreen course. In Google Cloud Platform, we are going to learn it because the cloud is very important nowadays. Every company is moving towards a cloud. So if you wanted to make yourself upgraded and then wanted to get more opportunities, wanted to get more calls for the job and get a good hike in the next company, so this is one of the good course, I would say. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir. I believe
Okay.
even for freshers we have
Of
calls.
course, for freshers, yes, yes. But you need to have at least a 1 or 1.5 years of experience if you wanted to get any call. Not only for this one, any course. If someone is saying you for freshers there is a call, you don't believe them. Don't believe that, because for freshers, if you wanted to get, you need to have at least 1.5 year of experience. Okay. Until then, you have to keep upgrade yourself to the different technologies and for the trending things so that you get a very good hike in the next company. Okay.
So, sir,
Yeah.
in my case, I don't have 1 or 1.5 year experience, sir. I just have 6 months of.
Until then, you have to upgrade yourself. Until then, you have to keep working on, keep learning courses. That's what you have to do. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.